Hello, everyone. Welcome to TotalSUP. This is Michael Lindberg. He's the head of management of the Danish Surf Federation, and he's got a big job to do with his team, create the biggest European SUP event of the year, EUROSUP 2022. 20 national teams coming from all over Europe at the end of August, beginning of September, for a big showdown with 4 disciplines: SUP surf, SUP race sprints, SUP race technical race, and long distance. Hello, Michael Lindberg. How are you?
Hi, Mathieu. Thanks. Great. Enjoying the summer coming slowly. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, thank you.
Your national federation volunteered to organize EUROSUP 2022 in how do you pronounce it? Hvide Sande? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. In Danish we say Hvide Sande, but in English you could say Hvide Sands.
Hvide Sands. Let's go to Hvide Sands. I like that better.
Exactly.
Easier to pronounce. Where is Hvide Sand located?
Hvide Sands is on the west coast of Denmark. So it's out to the Northern Sea. And it's part of the whole west coast of Denmark, where you can actually have really good wave conditions. Hvide Sands is also a small fishing village, so it has a lot of historical culture and everything. Really great place actually, and very I could say that it's like a small surf town actually, but also compared with the fishing industry and everything. So yeah, really nice place.
How far is it from Copenhagen?
It's a 3-hour drive, 3.5-hour drive from Copenhagen. But it's part of Jutland, which is connected to Germany. So if you come from all over Europe, you can easily drive to Hvide Sand through Germany and go straight to Denmark. And I also think that's why actually this event is placed really great, because it's very easy to get there.
Okay, well, since we're talking about geography and conditions, I understand that the location is also associated a lot with windsurfing. So I guess there is a lot of wind over there.
Yeah, exactly. The unique thing about Hvide Sands, or Hvide Sande, as you get to pronounce it, is that you actually have the sea and the rough conditions on the west side of the town, and then you have on the eastern part you have a big fjord, which creates really great conditions for windsurfing, kite surfing, downwind paddling. And you can easily get out on the middle of the floor or out in the center of the fjord. You can have 3, 4, 5 feet waves rolling when you have the really good wind conditions. So it makes it a very unique place where you can both do the wave surfing and everything, and you can do the more flat water part with great downwind conditions.
That sounds like a great variety of conditions. So tell us, Michael, what do you expect as a national federation with the organization of this event at the end? Can you remind us the program, the schedule, starting, I guess, on Saturday, the 27th of August?
Yeah, exactly. Firstly, I just want to say that actually the EUROSUP is a big or is a part of an international event strategy that we have made 2 years ago here in Denmark, because we started out doing the ISA Worlds in 2017, where we did a very successful World Championship, still the biggest World Championship in the world, with 42 nations. We did that in Copenhagen, and together with another city on the west coast, further up north towards cold Hawaii, as someone probably knows. And then we started thinking of doing this international event strategy, where we wanted actually to promote Denmark as a really great place to do stand-up paddling. And the first event was actually last year with doing the EUROSUP, also in Hvide Sande, together with the crew from the Euro Tour. And then this year we're doing the EUROSUP And then we are planning for another big event in 2023 in Copenhagen, and also for really one of the biggest events in 2024. So this is actually a journey for us, making really good events in Denmark. And the EUROSUP, as you say, is starting the 27th of August. That's where we're going to have all the registrations. People can, of course, come some days before that, but this is where we kick off with the registration and opening ceremony and everything. And then we will have a whole 9 days week program full of a lot of entertainment, also for spectators, families, kids, and everything. A lot of tryout activities. We're working on doing a ISA symposium for SUP instructors in whole Europe. So an educational part where you can actually come and have a lot of things in your backpack and take with you back home to train other athletes. And then for the competition part, as with all other events where you both have the flat water conditions with technical racing and long distance races compared together with SUP surfing also. You need to be really flexible with your programming in terms of the weather conditions. So of course, we're looking into a program where we have to program for SUP surfing the first couple of days. Okay. And if the conditions are not there for SUP surfing, we can actually move that further during the week. So we are able actually to do all the disciplines in 9 days. But of course, the big finals and everything, we're planning for those to happen on September 2 and September 3, which is Friday and Saturday, and then end the whole EUROSUP with a big party Saturday night with a big aloha party. Yeah,
sounds perfect. Can you tell us a word about the European Surf Federation? Not everyone knows that between the national federations and the ISA, there is in Europe a European Surf Federation made of volunteers. And obviously this event is sanctioned by the ESF, European Surf Federation. Can you introduce this institution to us?
Yeah, so the European Surfing Federation is like any other governing body for the surfing and stand-up paddle sport in Europe. So as you have in other sports, you have continental governing bodies that is related to the international overall governing body, in this case, the ISA, the International Surfing Association. And the ESF has been existing for many years and has also been doing stand-up paddle European Championships for many years. And a lot of surf competitions, bodyboard competitions and everything. But as you also say, the ESF is a smaller governing body with not a lot of funding, which also means that a lot of the people working in the federations is mainly voluntary. And we're working together with the ESF to make this event happen. And also they are very good at, because they've been out doing the events earlier. So they're good coordinating the event bit, but we're also talking together with the ISA. And yeah, in total, we are just very confident that we have very good people on board for the event.
Fantastic. Let's talk about racing. What sort of conditions can we expect for the long distance in particular? Is there any downwind runs around Hvide Sande? Sorry, I'll get it right at some point. Hvide Sande.
Yeah, people gotta look it up on Google Maps and actually see because when you start looking at Google Maps, it actually reveals a lot about conditions. As we all know, we can actually get a lot out of looking on maps. And if you look it up on Google Maps, you'll find that, as I said earlier, that we have on the west or at the sea, we have all the wave conditions, and then inside on the fjord, we have some really good conditions for doing a perfect downwind. We have been doing, I need to say that we have actually been doing a downwind competition there for 8 years now. We have a Danish stand-up paddle tour with 5 events every year. And we've been doing an event there every year for the past 8 years. And we have always had really great conditions. Of course, there's been some years with also flat water conditions, but then you get a really sunny tour over the fjord. But there's also really, really great superior wind, downwind conditions, I would say that. Yeah, so, and as I said, we could have like 5 feet waves out in the middle, which makes it really fun.
Wow, amazing!
And we're planning for a race that is around like 15 to 17 Ks.
That's amazing. Really look forward to it. There are 2 Danish athletes who are great ambassadors for the sport, Kasper Stenfaf and Christian Andersen. Are they playing a role in this organization?
They are definitely, and as you say, they're really great ambassadors for the sport in general. At this moment, when we're talking together, Kasper is paddling around Denmark, as a lot of people know already. He's paddling 1,400 kilometers around Denmark, and actually he's soon about to pass Hvide Sande as well. And then, of course, Christian Andersen, who has been performing really well, and also did win the Junior World Championships some years ago. And he's definitely planning to perform very well at the European Championship here in Denmark. And we're also using them as ambassadors for the event. They'll also be later talking about the event and everything. And then, of course, we also have the girl, Caroline Künzel, who is also beginning to perform very well against the women's. So actually, I think we can either defend some titles or even make some titles here in Denmark.
Fantastic, bit of Danish pride and Viking spirit.
It's a Danish dynamite and Viking spirit, yeah.
Another crucial question, Michael, is how do national teams or individual athletes register or qualify for the EUROSUP 2022?
Well, we've made a website for the event, which is called subcitydenmark.dk or subcitydenmark.com. You can go to either of them. And we are actually writing about the registration on that website, but the registration itself goes directly through the European Surfing Federation. And also fees are paid directly to the European Surfing Federation. So in order to register, you need to contact the European Surfing Federation, and Karen Walton is the secretary there. But the contact information is also on the website on subcitydenmark.dk. Yeah. So, and of course, as you also say that as a national federation, you also need to make a national selection for the governing body in your country. So you can't just sign up for the event if you're not selected by your national governing body.
Okay, that's a very interesting point. Of course, how many athletes can there be in one national team?
At this moment, when you're asking, I can't remember the total amount of athletes in one national team, but it is as if you're doing the long distance. Let's take the long distance. You can have 2 athletes, 2 men, 2 women. You can have 2 athletes in sub technical race, so 2 men, 2 women. But it can be, you can have 2 persons that are doing the technical race, and it can be 2 other persons doing the long distance race.
Okay.
If you have, and as we know, with the sport that has been developing over 10 years now, we've seen that specialists are in long distance or in technical racing. So I would reckon that we get bigger and bigger national teams because you get more specialized in your discipline.
Absolutely.
So you can actually have a really big team coming if you want that. And also another important thing is that we're doing a junior EUROSUP championship for the first time ever.
Okay.
So you can have
in separate races and events.
It's separate. They're not competing in the same heats and
Okay.
as the seniors. We're doing it separately, but it's in the same event. So you would have, like, let's say, sub-technical race heats for men and women in the morning, and you could have juniors in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. So if I understand well, you've got 2 men, 2 women per discipline, plus 1 junior man and 1 junior woman per discipline. All that, so that's 6 people, multiply potentially by 4 if
Exactly.
if one athlete does only one discipline. So that could potentially mean a very specialized big teams coming up. It's very unlikely that a SUP racer does only a top SUP racer, taking the French example, for instance, does only one race. But we have indeed a very specialized now competitors for the sprints, for the technical race, and for the long distance. So it sounds like a lot of people can have their shot at being selected.
Exactly, definitely, and of course I agree with you that we won't see. I don't think we'll see teams with 20 athletes, but because we also have, we just talked about Christian Andersen and Casper, and I know Christian will both do technical racing and long distance and everything. So, but yeah, in the theory, we could start seeing bigger teams actually. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the number of national teams we've got in Europe. How many exactly are members of the European Surf Federation, and how many do you expect in Denmark?
Well, at this moment, there's 24 nations that are members of the European Surfing Federation, and we are expecting at least 20 nations here. But one of our goals is also to try to contact and get more nations involved in the ESF with this event. So the 24 nations that the ESF has right now is not the total amount of nations or countries in Europe. So we actually want more countries to be members of the ESF and try to create an even bigger community in the ESF. But our goal is to get at least 20 nations to Denmark.
Okay, so bottom line, if your national team within Europe is not yet a member of the ESF, you can still join the European Surfing Federation and take part in EUROSUP 2022. And hopefully, as many people as possible will show up, and as many national teams as possible will show up for a great event in the northwest of Denmark. Is it fair to say it's northwest or west?
It's more west.
West.
Yeah. Directly
west.
Denmark. Yeah.
And I'll be there. I'll be there hosting the event for the whole 9 days. And we'll be live streaming also the event with a great team coming from Brazil, I guess, or Portugal, I believe.
Yeah, we're still working on the production team, but it's going to be really great, and with people who know about production of water sports events and everything. So yeah. So
you'll be able to follow online if you don't show up as spectators on the west coast of Denmark at the end of August. Thank you very much, Michael Lindberg. Do you have anything that you want to add?
No, I just want to look forward to see everybody in Denmark, and except for all the competition part, we're also putting a lot of entertainment into the program. So it's going to be a really great week of competition and entertainment, and I know that there's a lot of events in general in the whole world this year, because after post-corona stuff, you will have a lot of events. But when we look on the calendar, we can see that the EUROSUP is actually placed very well in between APP, ISF championships and everything. So I really hope to see a lot of people here. And yeah,
absolutely. And one thing we didn't mention, the event will finish with a big water sport festival, which has been running for a few years in Denmark, which is pretty successful with all kinds of different sports.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the EUROSUP is part of an even bigger water sports festival that's been there for, I think almost 10 years. So there's a lot of activities going on with windsurfing, kite surfing, life saving, and everything the whole week. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, see you in Denmark, Michael.
You too,
Thank
Mathieu.
you very much for all for your time and your explanations. And hopefully this will motivate everyone to sign up for EUROSUP 2022. Bye-bye, Michael.
Hey, man. See you.
Bye, everyone. You.